Ladies and gentlemen, here we are once again at the Squares of the Round Table. I'm driving Ivan Rivera, and of course, shit, can I do that again?
No. Ha! Welcome back.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Squares of the Round Table, and of course, glad to be back here, along with Mike and Jeff.
Hey.
That is the shortest month in the history of mankind.
Really?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, all my plans went south due to personal sensibilities, and of which I don't want to speak on here. But as far as everything else is concerned, yeah, being lonely sucks. So
you're never alone, Ivan. We're in your heart.
You got cats.
Yeah, I got cats, and I got my best friends, and I got cats. Yes, I guess I'm not.
You got pussy at home. What do you want?
Well, it's not
Wrong
pussy
kind.
that I can use. It's not pussy that I can use.
Well,
so, yeah. So
it's not pussy you should use. Yikes!
No, it's not pussy I should use. No, not in the least bit. But yeah, it's in. How am I sounding today? Just asking a question here.
You sound good.
Good.
Okay, good. I'm talking through a new microphone, so I'm very happy.
All right.
Yeah,
you sound
it looks
great.
Like. Well, it's just an RD-77 mock-up, and it's really kind of cute. Looks more like a toy than an actual professional piece of equipment, but it seems to do the job nicely. So,
all right. I think RD-77 was Obi-Wan's during the Clone Wars. Was that his droid?
You think so?
Maybe.
I thought he had sex with BB-8.
Okay, if RD-77 was Obi-Wan's whatever the whatchamacallit
droid
is, then he was named after a very famous ribbon microphone.
Oh.
No, maybe. I don't know.
Well, yeah, no,
a long time ago, in a ribbon microphone far, far away.
Yes.
Yeah. Somebody didn't do the research.
So you just been chilling, huh? You just been laying low.
Well, just laying low and just trying to get over the anxiety of just being outside. And Soraya's been helping me out quite a bit with that, here and there. It still unnerves me just be out in the public, let alone with a whole lot of other people. And it's and like I had mentioned before I left on my hiatus, was the fact that I had tried to make some plans. Well, financials fell through. Then through Julie's illness, kind of put everything out of reach for us. So I not only was she not here in August, but now she's not here in September either. And so it's just that type of thing where she's been spending more time in Indiana because, when a person has a stroke, it's no joke. And
because when people have a stroke, you definitely want to live in Indiana.
Well, nobody wants to. Well, anywhere. Just a stroke is just a bad thing, and we didn't even know it happened. That's the scary part. The not knowing that it happened to you, and then you have tests, and then the doctor tells you, "Oh yeah, did you know you had a stroke?" And you're like, "Oh my God, yeah, all right." That changes the dynamic of a lot of things. She's going for therapy because she can't get around very well, and
Can she drive?
She has to drive during daytime hours because her orientation at night is not very good.
Okay.
And and the fact that she's got some coordination and balancing issues right now.
Right.
They're still trying to figure out how much damage she's gotten into. But yeah, it's been a very heart heavy and head heavy last 7 or 8 weeks. And I was looking to get away. I was looking to try to work this thing out so that way I could do things and go places. And now everything just went out the way it did. And so finally I figured, 20 days into September, I what am I waiting on? I mean, I'm here alone and I'm lonely and I just want to come back out. So out I came.
Yeah.
And so, and the fact that the, ban on Facebook is looming large, which everybody is now flocking to, Mixcloud. And I'm very curious to see how they're going to navigate that situation on Mixcloud. I mean, just the whole future of the whole virtual disc jockey personalities everywhere. I mean, you would think that a situation like Facebook and Instagram and that this would be the thing that would be embracing this type of sensibility, trying to keep people connected, and music being such a powerful, calming, wonderful force that it is. But I just can't help but think that, like everything else, money is the common denominator about everything. Money does indeed change everything.
Yeah, it does.
So
you're no longer going to be Facebook Living soon?
Well, not when Facebook Live is looking to incorporate a tone, which will make the sound on your DJ set almost unaudible. You can't listen to it. It's going to be like distorted. Yeah, that's where they're going.
No, that sucks.
Well,
So,
I mean, the problem, this has always been, it's kind of funny, this has been a problem for a little while now, which is the fact that you have people who want to do this stuff and do independent and do some DJing and do stuff like that and be on like this. But at the same time, you've got, I hate to say it, you've got people who want to get paid and this becomes an issue. And I don't know what the real answer to some of this is. That's the problem. I mean, that's a lot. I
can give you the bottom line to that whole situation. I know it verbatim, and it comes right down to a thing that I've been talking about many shows over. And, I'll make it brief. And that is royalties and copyrights are still being pocketed by those who no longer will benefit from those royalties or copyrights. I mean, a good example of that, I was watching a motion picture called Cedar Sings the Blues, and they had an interview with its director, who was an independent filmmaker by the name of Nina Paley. And Nina Paley, in order for her to get the 11 songs for her cartoon, for her animated masterwork, which has won a number of awards. But see, when she went in, she put in all the production work. She did the animation. She did the editing. She did the storyline. I mean, she was...
But she's got a soundtrack, right?
Right, but here's the catch, all right? So she really wanted to do this work and basically bit a bullet to incorporate the songs of Annette Hanshaw. Now, we're talking songs that were recorded between 1927 and 1933.
Okay.
Right? Now, the process being what it is that since those copyrights were pretty much written back to the labels, because, okay, little story on that is that, when she signed away her rights, like many artists, knowingly or unknowingly, sign away their rights. Now the lawyers owned them, in the big label world. And that's why it's still such a presence today, because the people who signed away their rights and such, unknowingly or knowingly, now those are the people that get paid now. Did you know that it cost Nina Paley $220,000 for 11 songs from Annette Hanshaw? Annette Hanshaw passed away in 1985. So here you've got 4 separate people that are splitting the rights of all of that music. Corporate people, lawyers and such, people that it's just a money line to them. There's no vested interest in the artist. Who cares? But if we can still make money off the dead, we're going to do it.
Yeah,
And
but Ivan, hold on a second. At the same time, I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, look, this is how it works. You
well,
know,
no,
like I mean, here's the deal. You know, like for example, that's like, and I'll use an example where it's not like that. But like for example, Michael Jackson died. Okay, his kids basically own his library, and ironically now the Beatles library. Okay,
well,
and they're
okay.
going to be able to live off that the rest of their lives.
Well,
Didn't Paul get the Beatles catalog
Michael
back?
Jackson sold his library, his right to Paul McCartney.
Well, maybe he did.
Yeah,
but
I think Paul got the Beatles catalog back. I think.
Did he really? Okay.
Paul got the Beatles catalog after, okay, that's another story. But
That's another whole story.
Another whole story. But what I'm trying to say is, those who are entitled to those royalties, yes, God bless them. Let them get their royalties. But more times than not, that is not the case.
That is true.
That is not the case. I mean, your man Superman, your superhero. The S, Schuster, the last name is what that is.
And was it the other guy, Stiegel?
Stiegel and Schuster.
Yeah.
And right, and they've been fighting around with DC at certain times over the years.
That's why it took Superman Returns. It took them forever to get that film made.
And the reason why that was because they sold the rights to Superman for a mere $300. Did you know that? No, you didn't.
Like I said, I mean, I'm aware that these things took place, Ivan.
And the letter law says they are the owners of the content.
They are the owners of the content, which, yes. They are the owners of the content. And it sucks. But the point of the matter is, things could be worked out that everybody wins, but nobody wants to do the legwork and nobody wants to do any of that because if it ain't broke, why fix it? So this is why, you got disc jockeys like myself, who don't get paid a dime. Not a dime. Okay? I go on Facebook. I don't make a dime. Okay?
But you did do the streaming ones for, like the ones for Logan Arcade.
Yeah, I did the ones for Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, that's Twitch. And which, the same thing is going to happen with Twitch now too. Okay, so now, and I can't blame any of the situation. It's because of the death hold of the copyrights and the royalties. Okay, we can't do nothing about that. But a lot of people do not understand. They think, it's Facebook that doesn't want us to do this. It's Instagram that doesn't want us to do this. It's Twitch that doesn't want to. No, it's not. It's not. A lot of people are misplacing the blame.
And that's the owners of the content.
It's the owners of the content, which, yes, those owners of the content are the ones, he who has the gold makes the rules.
Well, but this goes back to, if we really want to go here, this goes back as far as, back in the 90s with Napster, when, you had, what's his name, Lars from Metallica and
Lars
Dr.
Ulrich,
Dre.
yeah.
Right, Dr. Dre bitching about the fact that they weren't making nearly the money they should be making because, this stuff was getting ripped off Napster and all these places. And so people didn't have to pay rights. We heard stories back in the day about, grandparents who were getting sued by the recording industry because some grandchild of theirs put $60,000 worth of music on their computer and they didn't know. We heard stories about this.
Before that, when home computers were really, really early stages, you had record stores who were returning CDs and selling used CDs.
Right.
And just before, the internet took off, or back in the mid to late 90s when everyone had a home computer, used CDs were an issue because the record store was getting their money back, and that wasn't going to the artist either.
Nope, they weren't. And the whole rip-off of musicians happened since the beginning. This is not a new thing.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, because it's been configured and reconfigured
Since the dawn of recorded media.
Right.
Since the dawn of recorded media. We're talking 140 years of recorded media.
That's a lot of years.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry for your situation, man. It sucks.
Well, so now here it is, just like I was railroaded off of, phone, regular phone line at home to now carrying a cell phone and being railroaded into, having to get all my information and my ducks in a row because now everything's on my phone. Now I'm being railroaded again because now I got to find another way to express myself as a creative sensibility, like the millions of creative people out there who even now, with times being what they are, you would think that, there would be more avenues opening up instead of closing down. I mean, we have enough stuff closing down already. We have enough stuff already being pushed to the side. There's a lot of situations that are gone.
Yep. This last 6 months has been rough.
Yeah, the last 6 months.
Well, the restaurant business, a lot of restaurants, a couple of restaurants here in town closed down for good.
Yeah, the district up here in Logan Square, it's a ghost town. It's a ghost town. Okay, you know how scary it is to go walk outside. I went out and I walked, to the Logan Square, statue in the middle, in that island there, and I sat there, and I looked around, and I looked at the remnants of the boarded up buildings from all of the looting and everything that happened, which had nothing to do with the protesters, by the way. But as far as, then of course everything that being closed, shuttered, dark, a lot of, places empty. But yet, there is the big Target, bigger than life. And across the street, there's my favorite pizza place. Nothing more than a shadow of its former glory, a place that I went to for close to 40 years. Poof.
Well, you know what? I gotta tell you, some of that's on, I'm just gonna be honest, some of this is on us. Which is, and when I say us, I don't mean me, you, and Mike. I mean just in general.
In general.
This is, the Amazons and the Walmarts and all those guys. Yeah, they're getting richer, and this has been a problem for a while. But, like I said, to me,
the Rona exacerbated the situation.
Right, sure.
And it's done nothing but accelerate the fortunes.
Sure.
That are happening everywhere.
Right. But I mean, the point being, I guess here's my question to you, which is, like I said, you're sitting there talking about, okay, well, where are the venues? What's going on where? I mean, to me, in some ways, this isn't new. The problems that you're running into aren't new. This has been a problem for a while in that it's not, and unfortunately, this is where it is at this point, which is, yeah, you're right. I mean, people don't grasp unless you're an actual artist and you're doing your own music, then Facebook isn't going to shut it down. Or if you're at a concert live, it doesn't seem to shut it down. But when you're doing stuff like DJing, it shuts it down.
Well, and I understand.
Which is interesting because apparently DJing is not considered a form of artistry, but we won't get into that.
Well, no, but you raise a very valid point. In fact, there was something going around the city a few years back. Is DJing an art form? And that was the question. That, well, if DJing is an art form, is it a taxable art form? Okay, is it something that can, we can, like servers, waiters and bar backs and such. If we tip the DJ, can we stick our fingers into the DJ's pocket and take money from those tips? I mean, is that enough of an artistry to be able to do such a thing? And I don't know where that argument went later, because right now it is not in my gray matter, for it.
But I mean, there's the Starbucks has a tip jar. The Subway has a tip jar. The Dunkin' Donuts has a tip jar.
Right.
You don't hit those.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I would think that, I don't have a good answer. I mean, I just think it's kind of interesting to me, because there are some answers, I think, that are out there that people aren't looking at for this, but, they
well, because
I don't know. We'll see.
Because I just feel that for them, there's no money in it. Okay? And that's the drive out of this whole thing. It's all about the money. It's all about the Benjamins.
Well, sure it is.
The dead presidents.
Sure it is. But again, here's the problem. The problem is that Facebook doesn't want to have to pay it, and they don't think they should have to, which to me, there's a part of me where I get that argument. At the same time, it's not like you guys can, you guys are going to be,
yeah, and the point of the matter is, okay, the vast majority, I would have to say, let me put it in the last 10 years, okay? Mm-hmm. The vast majority of people who DJ and such in the last 10 years are working from used goods in many cases. In fact, 80% of the presentations of DJs in the last 10 years are, from records that have been bought on their own or were passed on through secondhand, which, there's no taxing on secondhand goods. So I'm thinking, how do they figure on trying to make money on money that's already been paid for that money?
So wait, I have a question for you, because seriously, now I'm thinking about this. Because lately, I've been picking up, on my Facebook feed, I've been picking up Julian Jumpin' Perez. Right. And he's been on doing his DJ thing when he's live.
Right.
And I don't see them nerfing that.
You know why? I'll tell you why.
No, I don't. That's why I'm asking.
Why?
Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because there is a little known protocol, a blanket agreement, which I've mentioned many times over. If you go to Resnick, when you go to Resnick Music and you say, okay, guys, this is my body of work. This is what I want to use. This is what's in my play box. Okay, how much is this going to cost me per? What's the percentage of the music that I'm doing a percentage, and how much is this percentage are you going to take out of the fact that I'm doing 30 minutes or an hour on Facebook? See, there are ways that could be done without having to incorporate Facebook on it, because the disc jockey, Jumpin' Julian Perez, and especially since he was he's a known radio personality, a club DJ, he's got a lot of history. Mm-hmm. He, in fact, is an artist, but he is also a DJ. So that's where the line gets blurred, okay? And the fact that, he went to these people and said, okay,
so he got permission from the people who own the music.
He got permission, and he paid in to those people who had the music, okay? Now, if something could be arranged where, okay, let's just say, because it's made up of two big companies, ASCAP, which is the older of the two, and then Broadcast Music Incorporated, basically the bastard child of all other genres outside of popular music. Okay? Basically, BMI is kind of like the island of lost music, and the BMI is the big lion who says, any genre that is not popular music is welcome here. Because they didn't think there was no money in it. When they found out that there was, that's when everything got crazy. But, so here it is. Yeah, he paid his dues to the people who own the rights. Well, why can't the rest of us through some kind of an agreement, if they tell us how much will it cost for us to be able to spin our music, and we'll be happy to pay that percentage, granted, if we are given the right to be paid, so we could pay you. Okay? So there it is. There's a situation that can be made if the thought and the legwork were to be put in it. But, only the people like Julian Jumpin' Perez and many, many others who know this little-known protocol. Well, why can't that little-known protocol be made available for the rest of us, weekend warriors and wannabe DJs? And you know what? The vast majority of the people who DJ on Facebook, Instagram, and everywhere else, I would say the vast majority of them, I would say a good 25% of them, yeah, they want to get paid. All right. You've been out there.
We all want to get paid.
Yeah,
we want to get paid. But then you got people like me who just do it for the sheer joy of trying to make the world a nicer place. So what happens to a guy like me?
well, there are ways. Well, I don't want to get into it now, but there are ways around all of this. But I don't want to get into it.
Of course, we won't expound on that. But it's food for thought, and
off the top of my head, my first reaction to you is I can name you a way that you could promote yourself right now, and quite frankly, there's not much they could do.
Well,
but in fairness, it's you're not on the internet. Well, you're sort of on the internet doing it, which obviously the only thing would be is you got to pay $15 a month for Zoom.
Well, and I got no problem with that. In fact, right now, I'm going after the premium package for Mixcloud. I got my daughter's boyfriend coming here. He's going to set up my laptop, and that's the only thing the laptop's going to do. It's going to be my interface to the Mixcloud universe at $9.99 a month.
Okay.
Which I have no problem with that. It's just sad that, something that was supposed to bring, a situation together joyously without any boundaries now, after almost 11 years, now it's starting to get, everything is boxing in on Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, okay? And, so with that being said, Mark had a great idea. He just didn't think it through very well.
Well, he thought it through. He thought it through just fine. The problem is that, at no point was this, at certain points I don't think at any point they thought, okay, we're ever going to get to this point of where we need to consider stuff like this. But, and it's not just Facebook. I mean, look, let's be honest. We're talking about, you can't really do this on well, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how you do it on Twitter, Well,
I've
although isn't Twitch connected with Twitter, I thought, or something like that, or Periscope, or
no, Twitch is his own
another company. Yeah,
Twitch is his own.
But there's something that hooks in. There's one of them where you can live stream onto Twitter, and I can't remember which one it is.
Well, I know. Well, for me,
Snapchat or one of those. I don't know.
I want to say it's Periscope that can go straight to Twitter.
Is Periscope still a thing? I don't know anybody who does.
That's got me baffled too. But as far as the Twitch thing was concerned, though, when I went there and I was under the guise of, okay, this is great, I can do this without getting, without having my my stream bastardized, and now, the point of the matter is, because see, that's a game stream. That's a gamer stream. So the vast majority of everybody that's on Twitch, they're gaming, and we're talking about.
Well, it's kind of starting to change a little bit. I'm hearing radio stations are starting to do live streams on Twitch too. Well, so that might be part of the problem. Part of the problem is that Twitch has become more popular of late to do quite a bit more than just gamers and what you're doing.
Yeah, well, that's because I went on there and they had, who are you? And I'm like, I'm a DJ. Okay, here you are, plop,
Yeah, it's still wild and free.
It's basically the Wild West of internet. And for a little while, I got to
as far
run
as
pretty
live video streaming, yeah.
Yeah, the live video stream, yeah. I was able to go out there and yippee-ki-yay, MF, I'm going to go ahead and just do this for 3, 4, 5 hours in a shift and then go back, and I'm like, oh, it's still there. But now, since they started cracking down, now it's the muting game with them, and their mute basically starts off when I say my first words, and then the rest of it is just plain gone. So I mean, they don't go up and down like they do on Facebook. They just
but it's not. But it doesn't happen in real time. It's after the video's posted.
Yeah, it's after the video's posted. No, it does, so you get one good run, and that's why
when you're live, and then that's it.
Right, and then you record it on an alternate source, and then off you go to SoundCloud and be done.
Yeah.
Where I've already done some SoundCloud already. In fact, I released two shows to SoundCloud to test it. I really like it a lot. I'm very happy with it. And, rather or not, the whole personal, aspect of it, being on camera, because I'm that guy, I don't mind mugging and air guitaring and just being a total goofball, in front of the lens and everything like that. Because to me, when it's going on, I mean, I'm not even aware of any of it. I'm just doing what I'm doing. And, then when I look back on it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, wow. I don't know what happens during the time I do the thing. It's like when a DJ plays, it's like when you game, you get in the zone and you become that thing that you're into. So with that in mind, do I mind going back to SoundCloud and just be the mysterious person behind the person mixing the records? I have no problem. It's just like being on radio, and that doesn't bother me neither here nor there. But there are those who like that aspect, of being in front of the camera and, showing it off and showing it up and, the bragging rights, hey, I got this, you got that, and everything else, that whole personal exchange. But, but that's me. I mean, for me to be on camera is neither here nor there for me, but I mean, I like it, but I can live without it, So, but there's people out there that, that they think differently, which is fine. I mean, as far as like with any of that, once upon a time I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to, I actually wanted to make a movie once upon a time, but yeah, dreams of folly.
You want to be in pictures.
You want to be in pictures.
So wait, Mike, so didn't you had a con this weekend,
yes.
sort of, right?
Went to DairyCon. This is my 16th visit to this convention.
That's got to be strange with all the social distancing, right?
Yeah, it was different this year. It was shorter than usual. The hours were abridged. The activities were reduced. And, of course, attendance was a little low. And I say about 80% of what it normally was. But the thing is, like, this is my first time at a hotel post-Rona. And that was interesting. I mean, we all had our rooms and it was all good. Of course, obviously, it was no buffet breakfast. Our complimentary breakfast was like a granola bar and an apple in a bag. So I'm like,
all that.
And I'm sorry, what was that, Ivan?
I said from that all the way from the endless plate of bacon.
Yeah, no bowls of bacon here. And the exercise room and the pool had to be by appointment, so you couldn't just jump in. You had to go to the front desk, and like your room key wouldn't unlock the door. So we had food delivered on Friday. We didn't dine out, as we normally do. And Saturday we had the show, and everybody wore masks. We had the sanitizing station by the door. People were checking temperatures at the door, so we were all very careful, and it was a big space, so we had plenty of room to keep our 6 feet. But we ended the show early, and, well, now, I mean, we're 3 days in, so we'll make another wait and see, wait the 14 days, and so far so good. Nobody's gotten ill or tested positive, so fingers crossed. But this was originally planned in April, but then the governor of Wisconsin shut gatherings of less than 50 people down, and that's just, I think they got it down to 25, I think, at one point, like in late March, when it was at the height of the when the lockdowns really hit in. So anything is better than nothing, and as of now, the Kane County show, the big toy show in St. Charles, is still on, but there will be social distancing there too, and of course, they were better off with just having the big, like the chicken coops. Like the Kane County Fairground is like a lot of like open areas for like livestock. Mm-hmm. So that's where you have some of the tables. So we'll see if that toy show is going to be affected. But there will be indoor buildings. And I assume there's going to be like limited capacity, like at the Walmart. Like they'll only allow so many people in at a time. People will wait. You have to, as people leave, you can walk in. But yeah, DairyCon they're certainly different this year, but I got a couple good things. I got finished that studio series Devastator from Revenge of the Fallen, like 8 pieces. They sprawled it over like a year and a half. So I found the last one. And I found these this I guess called retro play of Skeletor and He-Man. They look just like the original toys from the 80s. Cool. But they have advanced, like the articulation is more advanced. They have like disc hinges to hide, like there's like it's way more posable than the originals are. It's not just like the elbows and knees and ankle pivots. So and a ball joint on the head, so it doesn't just swivel left and right. But that's cool. It's interesting that they took a take on that. But yeah, I had a good weekend though, and of course we missed you, Ivan. I mailed out your T-shirt today.
Oh, thank you very much. I mean, that's very kind. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, no problem. We all missed.
So how many would you say you had?
I'd say maybe about 85, maybe 90 people total. Where usually we're like maybe like 120, 130.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
I think
still it's a modestly sized show, and with the large enough venue that we had, and of course during setup, and of course at the end of the day we were able to just pop the side garage doors open to help circulate the air and get help with that regard. But it went well.
So is it pretty much just going around and buying things, or is it?
Yeah, there was like prizes, like you can donate, like when we have people who spin a wheel. Where I think when they had, and so you didn't have to touch the wheel. We had tongue depressors, so you use the tongue depressor to spin the wheel. That way you don't touch the wheel.
Tongue depressor the wheel.
That's right.
That's clever, but only Fred, man. Let me tell you, gotta love him.
Well, and he was the one, like he had gloves and he had a face mask and the N95 mask with the ventilator on it. So,
did anybody have like a mask to where they made himself look like Optimus Prime?
No one was wearing like the role play Optimus Primes. Although,
because like his front panel almost looks like a face mask in some way.
Oh yeah. I did wear a cow print mask.
I saw that
I wore that I got on eBay like a few months ago. So
I saw that. That was cool.
Yeah. But it was a good time. It was fun. It was, like I said, it was different. It'll be one for the record books, but it was fun though. Had a good time.
Basically it went from bowls of bacon to like, here, have a granola bar.
Yeah, the complimentary breakfast was kind of bullshit. So I just and
what chain is this?
What chain? This was Holiday Inn.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and
so they couldn't figure out a way. They couldn't figure out a way to like give you what you wanted and still do it, huh?
Yeah, there's some buffets like there's a chain up north called Pizza Ranch where they have a buffet, but of course what they do is I guess you can sit down in a restaurant, but you ask what you want from the buffet and then the waitress will bring it to you. So that way you're not actually at the buffet. The waitress grabs the food for you.
Yeah.
But now there was no complimentary breakfast buffet that we normally have. So
no eggs, no orange juice, no toast, no links.
And of course the price on the room was about the same as usual.
Well, we did get the convention rate, and it was a nice room. But So
how filled was the hotel though? I mean, I would imagine that.
No, I didn't see another person walk in or out of a hotel room other than us. I mean, like the hotel was quite empty.
Okay.
Not a lot of us stayed there Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe like 2 or 3 other people. I mean, there are other cars parked, but I mean, it's not like a lot of nights like where you wake up or you park after dinner and you try to find a spot close to the door.
Mm-hmm.
That was not an issue.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, not a lot of people staying in hotels except for just people who have to travel for business.
Yeah, well, that's why I was kind of curious because, like, you're the first person I've talked to there's been any sort of con that I've heard that's tried to go for it in person. So that's why I was kind of curious a little bit more about it because, you know, like a lot of the gaming conventions are just like, nope, not doing it.
Virtual.
We're going to go virtual or we'll see you next year. You know, even the comic convention's the same way where it's like, okay, we're all going to go virtual or we'll see you next year or that kind of thing. So that's why I was a little curious just from a perspective of, okay, yeah, we had a show and I'm like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I think it was 2 months ago or something. You posted something on the Squares page about a toy show in Florida or something.
Yeah, there was that.
Yeah, somebody blogged about it and guess they weren't
a nightmare mess too,
and they weren't,
from what I hear.
They weren't being very safety conscious.
No, not at all.
No. So, but at least we were. Our convention was, and everybody, there were no Karens. No one stomped their feet and made a mess or had a fit or anything. We all wore our masks and we all played it safe.
Not nobody screaming, I got my rights or anything like that.
And my liberty.
Yeah, none of that. Okay.
No, none of that. No. But it was fine, though. I finished watching that Netflix documentary. Was it High Score? What's the name of it? We talked about it.
Oh, I don't know.
Whoa, what was that? Ivan?
What?
Oh, how you doing? Oh, the gain on your microphone is.
I think it's his air conditioner.
Ivan, you next to your air conditioner?
Pardon?
Are you by the air conditioner?
The one in the front room.
Okay. Feels like a lot of noise on your end. I can turn that off. That's okay. But I finished the documentary called High Score. Just the last 2 episodes dealt with, I think, fighting games, and the last episode was about Doom and how that became an online gaming or virtual gaming was the birth of that. And hopefully there'll be a few more episodes, maybe about. This was like most of it was about console gaming, but it wasn't so much about interactive, like playing against a guy like across the planet or something like that. That's what Doom and what was the game that preceded it? Oh, Wolfenstein.
Did Wolfenstein allow for that? Wow.
Well,
I didn't realize that Wolfenstein did it.
No, I think there was just I don't think it was on. It was online gaming, but it was just PC gaming in general. But it was interesting though. But no, I'm sorry, I have not seen the finale of Stargirl yet. I need to get to that. It's on.
Hey, I had a feeling you had.
It's on the front burner. And I talked last week about the Superman Man of Tomorrow from it was free on Disney Fandom. But no, I think that's all I did.
No, I understand. I caught, so Fox is airing what's called LA's Finest. And I think we talked about this a while back, which was there was, I can't remember if it was Jerry Bruckheimer or who it was, where they were in the process of trying to spin off Gabrielle Union's character from Bad Boys 2, who plays Martin Lawrence's character's sister. Mm-hmm. And they were going to spin that off, and they were going to have Jessica Alba. And it didn't get picked up by a network, but my understanding is it got picked up by a streamer called Spectrum, and they had their first season. But
I never heard of that one. Right,
but now apparently Fox has picked it up for the season because everybody's short content at the moment. Yeah. So I I don't, obviously I'm assuming it got cut down in terms of some of the content or possibilities or what was in it. But it was interesting. The production values are really pretty good. It's Gabrielle Union, Jessica Alba. I mean, how often you're going to get that for a show? So, pretty action packed. Very much a cop thing. I mean, there were certainly some alluded points to, the Bad Boys franchise, and it was a decent watch. I don't know. We'll see where it goes, if it's worthwhile. But for a first episode, not bad. Definitely something to catch if you're looking for something with some action, some pop. The only thing I think was interesting is, it's funny because Gabrielle Union's the one who's kind of dressing kind of flashy, and like Jessica Alba is like literally like acting like a mom or something like that with the way she dresses, and I'm just like, oh jeez. Come on.
Didn't she play Sue Storm?
Did she? Yeah, she did. Didn't she?
Yeah, those Fantastic
Four movies. And then she did that. Yeah, she did that. She did that Dark Angel movie show on Fox, where she was wearing a whole bunch of stuff, and everybody was always like, "Oh, wow, Jessica Alba, boom, 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 boom,"
Yeah.
But I know she got real annoyed about being a sex symbol. But yeah, I mean, not bad. It's worth taking a look at, considering that otherwise unless you have this spectrum, which it sounds like nobody really has, and I'm curious who did have it. But
you say it's on Fox's streaming?
It's on Fox, regular Fox.
Okay, it's his broadcast. Okay,
right. They moved it to. They took their season 1 and moved it to broadcast, kind of like how CBS is going to do that with Discovery, where they're going to do season 1 of Discovery on CBS Network. So, that's kind of where things are at the moment with all that. But, like I said, I'm trying to think of anything else I caught. I finally got through the end of Brave New World, by the way.
You finished that series?
I finally finished it. It is kind of whacked out, and, they do leave it kind of open-ended for a second season. If you are familiar with Grant Morrison, you definitely at points, I'm like, yeah, I can tell Grant Morrison was involved in this. Cause it gets kind of weird at points. And, but yeah, it was interesting. Definitely worth seeing. And, if I hate to say it this way, but if you're a guy, yeah, there are a lot of naked women in that show.
Hooray.
So,
if that's your thing, then there you go.
Right, if you're looking for, something like that.
I heard season 2 of The Boys is good. Have you watched any of that?
I only watched the first 4 episodes. I really don't have Amazon. So I haven't gotten around to watching, but I know somebody who had Amazon, so I watched the first 4 episodes, and I liked what I saw. So I'm curious, at some point I figure I'll get around to getting into some of the Amazon stuff. But,
Ivan, you've been watching anything?
No, not really. No, not really. No.
Okay. No TV, nothing. Okay.
See the Scenes the Blues. That was the only thing I saw with Soraya the other night, and then, like I said, just my usual old movies and stuff like that. I haven't really watched much in the way of television because, in my universe of television, it's just made up of a lot of old stuff. So,
okay.
Been doing a lot of music stuff,
yeah.
And let's see. Well, I sent off a track to my friend Ed Bornstein. He's got a tape label called Money Tape, and he's got I reached out to him, and he said that he had a fundraiser, and that they were looking for 200 people to give tracks, so that way they could fundraise for the wildfires that have been happening. And so I sent off a track. I sent off a track to him today to work with that.
How long is it?
Huh?
How long is it?
The track? It's only like 4 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's a little thing, and
it's for a good cause, and there you go.
And so yeah, but so as far as like watching anything like on television and everything, and it really nothing's kind of grabbed me. I mean, I've been kind of settling down with writing things up, and then of course just working on different ideas as to what I'm going to do from this point on, come October. But no, nothing in the television sensibility.
Oh yeah, and I'm still watching Lower Decks. I'm still liking it.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah, it's decent. If you can watch it for free, then I'd say it's worth a watch.
Okay.
But I'm still liking it. I've made my peace with it, so I'm just laying back and just enjoying the Easter eggs.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to John Suntress today, who does the Word Balloon podcast, and they'll review Lower Decks because they've been keeping up with it. And if you like the Rick and Morty stuff, it's great. I mean, basically, my understanding is that's one of the people involved with it is somebody from Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
But
look at the
Well, sad as well. I saw a meme the other day. It says, "Welcome to your 40s. You are no longer the demographic for anything that's cool."
Yeah.
So.
Well, and that's kind of where we're at a little bit, which is kind of interesting.
I'm gonna watch Matlock.
Well, it's weird because it's like we got to 40, and it's like, you're no longer in the demographic. When we were younger, oh man, 40 was still in the demographic, but because Gen X is such a small generation, it's like, nope, we're not really looking at you. We're looking younger than that now, and it's like, okay, if you say so.
I guess I just need to get a vape pen and get a laptop and hang out at Starbucks. Maybe that can that'll be
like
cool.
A beatnik or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you could just be one of the many, following of groups. I mean, the hundreds of different directions that people have gone. I mean, it's amazing. Being 60 now, and I'm just like, everybody's still digging the music that I listened to growing up, which is so odd. I mean, you've seen the shirts out there. The reason why you're miserable is because your music sucks. I gotta tell you, I don't agree with that. Well, I don't either, but
I keep really. It's funny you bring that up because I've seen a lot of people sit there and be like, the reason why this generation's music sucks, and it's like, yeah, no.
Well, I liked I liked a lot of the music from the 70s and the 80s growing up. I didn't hate it.
Right. Well, no.
I didn't gravitate towards
current.
it yet right away, but looking back, growing up, that was in my background, so that's what I glommed onto. I enjoy it.
Right, but I mean, there's a lot of solid artists that are out there right now that are good, solid artists. If you don't know who they are, that's your problem. It's not anybody else.
I go ahead and I listen to a lot of new artists. I mean, I listen to great jazz trumpeter Jamie Branch, which he just came out with a second album, or Hunter Diamond, who just came out with a beautiful new jazz.
Any relation
album.
to Neil?
No, he's a drummer.
Okay.
No love on the rocks there, buddy.
No, but great guy. Just ended up releasing another album. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of
but I mean, like, okay, I'll go more towards popular music. I mean, I think it's phenomenal that we have somebody out there like Lizzo. I think it's great. I don't have a problem with Drake. I don't have a problem with, I've heard some of Post Malone stuff. Not bad. I mean, I think that, Ed Sheeran is certainly worthwhile to listen to. Lady Gaga still technically counts as now. So is Ariana Grande. I mean, we're not exactly talking like, it's all horrible. I'll admit that, it's funny because I watched the MTV Awards and there were some people where I'm like, okay, I don't know who that is for the first time ever, but, you know, there's still quite a few people who I recognize who they are, and I hear their music, and I'm like, oh, you know, I like that. That's not bad. So
Yeah, I'm not hating on it, just, you know, not 100% for me.
It's just not my thing.
Well, right, and I think that's acceptable. I think that's the problem that I'm hearing. I think that's where I'm kind of getting triggered on it is, you know, I heard that stuff when I was, you know, I hate to say it, I don't know about you, Mike, but I remember hearing that stuff in the 90s too. Like, oh, your music is, yeah, you know what, go blow it out your butt. I mean, we had some phenomenal music in the 90s too. And I always laugh
not
about
just
that
Ace
stuff.
of Base.
Well, no, I mean, there's
Wow,
phenomenal music in
I
country.
saw the sign. Oh, we're going to get flagged now because Mike's saying
No, you're not going to get flagged for that. Ace of Base, come on.
Soup Dragon.
And there's Toad the Wet Sprocket. Don't forget them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anyways,
did you forget,
did anyone watch
Did
anyone watch the Emmys?
No. I really didn't. I heard they were good. I mean, the biggest thing that I heard about the Emmys was, you know, it sounds like a lot of the shows from our genre did well. You know, Watchmen apparently just absolutely killed it. You know, they had, my understanding is they set records for the amount of, you know, the amount of
there's no
wins
Game
that
of
they
Thrones
had.
this year, so.
Well, it's interesting though, because, you know, the guy who did that season of Watchmen who said, yeah, I don't have anything else left to do or left to say, and yet it's, you know, a lot of people, you know, it seemed to win just about everything. And when it wasn't winning anything, Schitt's Creek is one, pretty much swept everything in
they
comedy.
won too? Okay.
Yeah. And then I guess The Mandalorian picked up a few awards too.
Yeah, some technical awards, yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of, I mean, I just impressed because, you know, we're talking about, you know, it's funny when people keep, you know, to me, when you get your Martin Scorsese's and all those people going, oh, you know, we're done with comic books, and I think that it's all gone and beat. It's like, guess again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Guess again. Here's HBO winning a ton of awards with Watchmen.
Yep, and Disney winning Emmys with Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And I guess one of our headlines on the Squares Roundtable Facebook page is Joaquin Phoenix was offered $50 million for 2 films.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'll be curious if he does it.
I don't think he will. He's not that kind of actor, I don't think.
Yeah, he's not, that's not his deal. I don't see it, you know.
No, I don't see him doing it.
I don't see him doing it.
Well, let me be the devil's advocate here and say he just might.
Maybe, but you know, you throw $50 million at anybody.
$50 million.
A lot of things I would do for $50 million, and that's
$50
to be
million,
the Joker in 2 movies.
believe-
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, if I got to do
Well, next year when we start filming shit again, then we'll.
Well, you know, I mean, things are getting filmed right now. I mean, it is happening. So
yeah, like closed sets, like the vast majority of The Mandalorian was on a closed set. Not
right.
allowed.
I mean,
we just didn't know it.
yeah. So I mean, that's interesting too, because there's talk that, you know, somebody talked about seasons 3 and 4 already, that they're already beginning to work on.
What's
and
this
get
rumor
ready,
that Pedro Pascal walked out halfway through season 2?
I don't know.
There's rumors around.
I get
around
nervous.
The YouTube conspiracy nuts and haters.
Yeah.
On the Facebook channel, a lot of YouTube channels with a lot of hate for Star Wars now.
Yeah, it's
toxic.
Well, you know, it's interesting because, you know, with all of the stuff that went on with episodes 8 and 9, we ended up with a lot of people who it just got ugly. And at the end of the day, I kind of laugh because it's like, look, I don't like episode 8 either, but I still like Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I still want more content, and I still want worthwhile content. And if you're missing out on The Mandalorian, then shame on you. Then you're really missing out, because that's exactly what I think a lot of the fan base is looking for, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's good, and of course it's right on the cover of Entertainment Weekly. Although
Yeah.
I think that magazine is bi-weekly now because of just
I have
the decline
no
of
idea.
printed media. It's not, but I think it's just gone to a bi-weekly. But anyway, it's Entertainment Magazine. Baby Yoda's on the front. Yep.
Right. I mean, there's some sources that, you got to be careful with some of this stuff, because, I almost hate to say it, sometimes when I see some of these sources, it's like, okay, is it in Entertainment Week? Did Entertainment Weekly come out with anything immediately? Did Variety? Did, Hollywood Reporter? Did any of those guys come out with it? Because if they didn't,
Variety's kind of like the kingpin of all of them, because that's been around the longest, I think.
well, yeah, but or does Deadline have it? You're looking to see, to make sure that it's somebody, like, I swear, anytime I see something that says "we got this covered," I'm like, "Yep, that's
you don't. That's clickbait bullshit.
Or Cosmic News or stuff like that.
For every one magazine, you got 50 other sites claiming that they got the inside track.
Yeah, and they're just copying what broke first and what's called catfishing.
Right.
Yeah, well, again, the only thing is, like I said, anytime something comes from those couple of sources right off the bat, I'm always like, no, no thanks. I already can't trust this, and they're, just like, it's funny. I mean, you put something out about Letitia Wright replacing Chadwick Boseman to be in Black Panther 2 to be Black Panther. I don't know this particular source, but
no, the word isn't official, but
right. So I mean, that's kind of what's out there lately. Is there's a bunch of stories similar like to that, like, and that seems to be the most obvious answer to this. Is, I mean, what else are they going to do? They're going to replace Chadwick Boseman. Yeah, good luck with that. How are you going to do that? This makes the most sense. I mean, I don't know what else they would do otherwise.
Right.
I mean, seriously, what actor is going to replace Chadwick Boseman to become the new Black Panther? How are you planning on doing that?
No,
that's an awfully big set of shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's see. Well, I guess we can get to. So I know Ivan didn't see it, but I know Mike did, which is, so they released the WandaVision trailer for Disney Plus. It looks like it's coming out later this year, and I'm curious your thoughts as to what you saw and your thinking on it.
So it's not. I don't think it's going to be like a comedy. At first, we're all like, "Oh, they're going the goofy sitcom route," but I think it's just going to be a lot of jumping. It's going to be a lot of going to tie into the multiverse of madness for the Doctor Strange 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's minor spoilers here if you haven't seen the WandaVision trailer, but there's a scene where Vision's walking down the street and she's like, "Oh my God," and he's like, "What?" It's like, and pretty much she's like, "I thought it was dead." I was like, "You're not dead." But yeah, but she points to him and goes, "You are."
Oh, I did see that.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
it looks good. Obviously, I'm going to watch it because it's MCU.
So it looks like it's playing on two areas. One is, so Tom King, who we've talked about on this show a few times, when Tom was still with Marvel, Tom did a run where he did a run on Vision. And it looks some of what's being shown looks like some of the stuff we saw from Tom King's run on Vision, which was, a really well acclaimed run. The other thing is, it looks as though we might be moving towards, I can't remember exactly all the details to it, but at one point, Wanda kind of has a mental breakdown and basically changes reality. and it leads to something called House of M, which was
Right.
for a period of time with Marvel. Like there were a whole bunch of things that like changed reality with all the different heroes and whatnot. And so there's a lot of people who think we're going to get this is moving towards House of M, which would be interesting, and it certainly would give you an opportunity to introduce a lot of the mutants at that point. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. I mean, like I said, there seems to be elements of both. We'll see where they go with it. But
yeah, it does look interesting.
I do think it was kind of amusing to see them both wearing more superhero costumes.
Yeah, they're goofy cloth costumes from it looked like from Spirit Halloween, you know.
Right. The what would normally the Vision would look like in comic books versus what he looks like in MCU, and normally what she looks like in comics versus what the MCU version looks like. So I thought that was kind of amusing. So
yeah. Oh, I was at DairyCon actually. I did find the Marvel Legends Scarlet Witch for a good price. So I finished my MCU shelf on my Marvel Legends.
Hey.
Because it was like, I didn't need the Build-A-Figure. Like, I think Abomination was the Build-A-Figure from that wave. And I didn't want to pay like $120 for like the SH Figuarts one, but I wanted to go with the Vision on my shelf with all my other Avengers and whatnot. And I got that at DairyCon, so it was a good thing. But like I said, one guy was saying, I remember one guy when I got it, I was like, yeah, I saw the WandaVision trailer. And he was like, yeah, well, the guy who plays Vision, what's his name? Paul Bettany, his name. He's like, yeah, he's not buff like he's supposed to be in the comics. I was like, yeah, well, we're all people. We all can't be just padded suits, you know.
Yeah.
I just had a question.
What?
I mean, just kind of turning it around the corner for a bit. I got to see the new designs for the new Teen Titans. Your feelings?
There's another Teen Titans animated?
Yes, there is.
I didn't see this yet.
I didn't.
Okay, and
is it a new animated series?
Yes, Lauren Faust is front and center.
Huh. Okay. She's the one who did. Let's see, Cats Don't Dance. I think she had her own Galaxy Girls. She was responsible for the My Little Pony reboot. And so she was gonna do a project, I think, about Medusa, but that got shelved.
Right. So my
and she did like a superhero. And she did like DC Girls or something like that.
Oh, superhero girls. Those were those little 5-minute snips. Which
are we talking about Are we talking about a Cartoon Network show? Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me look this up.
Yeah, go ahead. You're gonna look at these characters, and WTF is gonna come up in your.
We know season 3 is happening of DC's Titans.
Okay, former Teen Titans Go art director take on. Okay, I'm not finding this. Or you might.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Season 6 trailer in 2020. That was 9 months ago. But no.
Yeah, I'm not finding this.
Well,
maybe I'm missing something, but yeah, I'm not.
Well, let's put it this way. Okay. All right. As far as like the whole Teen Titans Go, right? It is what that is.
Yep.
Sure it managed to keep the name out there and stuff, but literally dumbed down for the kids. And now it seems like they're trying to backpedal and trying to up the situation. And Robin looks total goofball. I mean, they just really went for the kind of cheesy kid next door type of feeling. Bucky's in the front panel, and then of course now they're doing the whole Bruce Wayne situation. I think they're trying to incorporate the Teen Titans into something of a situation where they're living at Wayne Manor.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's I don't know what the aim or the demographic they're shooting for, but should I say that this version of the whole Teen Titans Enterprise is actually now it's now going from like bad to worse. So, but I just don't understand.
There's good and bad with the new live action Teen Titans, and I found an article on CBR, which is comic book. What was it? About a new Teen Titans Beast Boy Loves Raven OGN.
Oh.
It was like a young adult Teen Titan graphic novel.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not finding
supposed to be out this
anything.
Month. No, I'm not seeing anything about a new Teen Titans animated series.
Right, no, I'm not either. I'm not finding anything.
Well, I'll have to backtrack it and have it for you guys next week.
Okay, so I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to find the article. Send us a link. Put it in the chat.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing anything at all on it. Because I'll be honest, the Titans Go is still the most popular show on Cartoon Network.
It's like what Nickelodeon's done with SpongeBob. It's omnipresent. It's everywhere.
In fairness, this is actually. I mean, here's the only thing. It's a good thing if you're a fan of the the Titans comics, especially in some ways. If you're a fan of the back in the day Titans, like I am, back from the 80s with Wolfman and Perez, I mean, it is still at the end of the day pretty much the Wolfman Perez Titans for the most part, with some exceptions of some people who aren't there, like your Girls or your Kid Flashes. But other than that, it's all the characters from the 80s. And so, at some point, the nice part about all this is, at some point, these kids are going to grow up and have known these characters for a while. So maybe we finally will get, something better than the live action Titans that we're getting now.
And it helps with getting these deep cuts, these cameos by these lesser known. I think Batman Brave and the Bold did that too, where they brought in these third, fourth tier heroes and villains that nobody ever heard of, that might have had like one or two issues back in the day that they're getting a spotlight on.
Well, because Soraya and I, we were brought up on the Teen Titans series of the 2000s, which
yeah, we played that over the PA at DairyCon. The Shonen, I think it was Shonen Knife did the intro music.
No, Puffy Amiyumi.
Okay.
So yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
It's a great fucking
that's a great, awesome song. Even both English and Japanese.
Yeah.
And I gotta be honest with you, that series, see, as somebody at that time, my reaction when that came out was, geez, why can't we just get like a Justice League show for the one thing I want? Like, why can't we get good animation, like the Justice League animation? But in fairness, they wanted to aim towards the kids. The nice part is that really there's been Titans cartoons for 20 years now, almost.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe not 2015 for sure. So, I mean, you've got a generation of kids.
And not just Go, but also the DC Universe animated features.
Right.
Right. So, well, no, in fairness, with the DC Universe animated features, there's only been one.
And then Paul Batmans and such.
They did. I think there was one or two. I thought there was one or two, but I know the Teen Titans
there's the Teen Titans that go to the movies. There's that, but then the only other thing that I can think of is the Judas Contract, and that.
I think there's one other one too. Of course, they were part of Apocalypse War as well.
Were they?
All tied into that. But I think after Apocalypse War, they've kind of said that was like it's setting like a reboot,
Right.
So that's why Young Justice was so popular. Young Justice was the Titans show, was the continuity show that everybody always wanted for a cartoon that we couldn't get with the characters like Kid Flash and Impulse and Aqualad and all that. Those characters was that show, and that's why it was one that was popular with older people and kids. It was just a good show. Mm-hmm. So, that's the reason why that thing came back. By the way, all those shows are now going to move to HBO Max because it looks as though DC Universe is going to be specifically just the comics now. So I don't know officially when that happens, but that happens sometime this fall.
Interesting.
Well, it makes sense. In some ways, it makes sense, which is, you launched this streamer, and then after the AT&T deal got done, they decided to launch a streamer. It makes a lot of sense because you need original content for HBO Max, and really, in reality, a lot of the really obvious content, you've got this stuff from DC Comics that is going to draw people. And, that makes more sense. But that's, so why put it one place and then, make it why do I gotta buy this to buy that? That's it makes sense.
Okay.
But, try to think real fast of anything else. Well, okay, so ABC canceled Stumptown. That's not really necessary comics, but it was based on a comic, which is by Greg Rucka. So that's a casualty of all this COVID stuff, which is too bad. It was a solid show. I'm a little surprised that they did it, but this is where we're at. They named a new... I'm sorry?
I said these are the times.
They did name a new She-Hulk, Mike.
Yeah, I'm not mad at this.
No.
Not yet.
I'm curious to see where, like I said, this could be a really fun show. I'm curious to see where they go with it.
Because we know Ruffalo's done. But we might...
He? I don't know.
I mean, maybe he might get a cameo, like as to bridge the gap between She-Hulk and this, and the old, MCU Hulk. Whether he's still Smart Hulk or not.
I don't know. I think he might stick around.
I think this was good because, like in the MCU, I mean, 5 years after the snap is like 2023, which is where we'll be at when we can be back at full steam as far as like creating new content and having these TV shows tying in. So.
Right. Well, there's that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to seeing this She-Hulk.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, I think there's a lot of people. It's funny because there's some people who don't grasp that. It's funny. This character's been around for like 40 years at this point almost. And people don't grasp anything about this character, which is, like, for example, first of all, she can turn back and forth. She doesn't have the issues that Bruce Banner does when she is in that form, and that she's an accomplished lawyer. So really, in reality, I expect this could be really interesting because we haven't really had, well, I shouldn't say that because we've got Matt Murdock with Daredevil, but I think this will be a different feel, not to mention the fact that, well, I hate to say it this way, but She-Hulk sleeps around with just about everybody.
Well, obviously, they said the same thing about Tony Stark. He was quite the playboy.
Well, ironically, that's one of the people she slept with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the comics is Tony Stark. And my understanding is, by the way, now she's sleeping with Thor. In the comics. I mean, she really gets around. I mean, she's been with, like, Hercules. Yeah, well.
Didn't Calista Flockhart's Ally McBeal, she was quite a little promiscuous?
Maybe. I mean, I do think that this is going to be I do feel like this is going to have like an Ally McBeal feel to it. That's kind of where I feel like they're going to go with this. By the way, speaking of hammers, Mike posted this and I saw it a couple places too. I don't know what issue this is from, but apparently, in one of the issues, it looks like it's either for Thor or for Iron Man. For some strange reason, Tony Stark's phone number is on Thor's hammer right there for everyone to call.
And you play, and if you call the number, it goes right to a voicemail saying, Yeah, just dial the number. You'll hear it.
Yeah, it's quite amusing. It's quite amusing. The information's on the Squares page. I guess we can give the phone number. What the hell? Why not? It's 212-970-4133. I was almost tempted to say to you, Mike, you want to call it and put it on the show, but
why not?
Nah, just let people find out for themselves if they want to.
Yeah, I guess so.
A little bit of mystery.
Yeah, I was like, now I'm going to have to remember and have to figure out how to call it.
It's on the Squares Roundtable Facebook page, man. You can read it. It's all good.
Yeah.
What else we got here in Newsland?
Well, it sounds like Henry Cavill is going to come back to be Superman in multiple pictures, as well as some cameos.
I hope he'll be in Black Adam.
Maybe.
That'd be awesome.
Maybe that's a possibility. We're trying to see what else we've got here. Oh, well, obviously this happened today as we're recording. So it's kind of amusing. This is an example of where networks don't know about certain things with comics. Today is the anniversary of the first appearance of Supergirl in any comic book, which is quite amusing because today was also the announcement that this season will be Supergirl's last.
Well, I'd say it had a good run.
I gotta be honest. Of the CW shows, to me, this is my favorite. This is the show that's had the best storylines and has done the best in the last couple of years versus all the others. And
yeah,
Flash
was really. Surprised. I know Flash was really kind of towards the end, last couple seasons, but
yeah, Flash is just kind of like. I mean, I get that they like certain people like certain things and they like the Flash, but that series has really meandered, and it's just not. I don't know. I mean, I enjoy the characters, but it's not gone anywhere in a while, and
it sounds like it's meandering.
Yeah, but it's doing
very
well
quickly.
Enough in ratings.
Quick meandering because he's quick,
right. And the weird part is it's doing well enough in ratings that, they're still not going to get rid of that show. I mean, the other thing is, obviously, there's a Superman and Lois show coming up, so, some people are like, oh, you're getting rid of Supergirl because Superman and Lois is there. I don't think so.
Well, that was birthed from the Crisis series, right?
Well, yeah, and Superman showed up in a couple episodes.
Yeah, but how many times are we going to keep rehashing Superman?
Because Superman's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not taking away from that at all, but how much content against all the other superheroes? I think Superman has gotten the lion's share of much of what goes on out there as far as movies and television, comic books. Merchandising, especially merchandising, and motion pictures. Whereas I just can't help but think, okay, you guys were talking about She-Hulk, and I know She-Hulk coming from the comic books and having been around for decades, but yet now it's like there's going to be this new thing with She-Hulk. Okay, and I'm thinking,
but keep in mind, Ivan, that's a different company.
It's Marvel, not DC.
That's Marvel. That's not DC.
Oh, okay. So, you guys know it better than I do, but
no, it's not that. I understand where you're coming from with it. At the end of the day, though,
I'm just saying that what I'm trying to say is, because like it says, you got your Batman, you got your Superman, you got your Wonder Woman, you got your Thor, Captain America, you had all the major guys. You had all of these sub characters. I like to call them sub because you know what, they're good in their own little way. And I'm thinking, why doesn't more development go into those particular characters to actually bring something new and fresh to the fore?
Yeah, that's what Marvel's able to do that now because they've been hugely successful with the other ones, so now they can bring in all these other characters. But DC
and in fairness with Marvel, let's make something clear. in 2008, when Iron Man came out, that was not a for sure deal. That was not a for sure deal. Iron Man wasn't exactly a household
was a gamble.
name. That was a gamble. And in fairness, as much as we talk about Thor and Captain America, they weren't exactly household names either. I mean, they were well known, but they're not like Superman, Batman.
That's what I'm saying. They
or Spider-Man.
They weren't up in the echelons of those superheroes, but you did know about them. I mean, I remember the old cheesy, Spider-Man cartoons of the old days and the old.
Right, but the point being is that the general public, if you ask this general public about who's Thor and who's Iron Man, and even in Captain America,
they'll be like, "What? I know."
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean,
right.
if
20 years ago, remember, 20 years ago we had the X-Men movie, and that was a big gamble.
Right. I mean, truth be told, for when it came to Marvel, for a long time, the characters that people knew that were Marvel superhero characters were Spider-Man and the Hulk.
Right.
And why the Hulk? Because of that 1970s series.
Bill Bixby.
With Bill Bixby.
Right, exactly.
Right, and that's the reason why people were aware of the Hulk. Otherwise, really, that's why it was a big thing, the fact that they didn't have Spider-Man. And technically, they worked out something with Universal to do a Hulk movie, and it didn't work out the way they wanted it to. And now they just use the Hulk. Well, not even the Ang Lee one. I'm talking about the other one. The one with Ed Norton. That
Edward Norton. Yeah. He wasn't a team
exactly
player.
Blow down the doors and.
Well, yeah, and then of course you have some characters that just don't seem to translate well. I mean, the Green Lanterns and.
That was.
Well, that's an entirely. No, I think Green Lantern can translate. I think that they made some poor choices when.
So if you were to give Green Lantern, say, if you had the.
But I think Green Lantern is getting. I mean, like, here's the thing.
I'm not saying that he isn't getting, but what I'm just saying is, it seems like from what I've seen, in my personal experience with Green Lantern and such, it seems like the poor guy just can't seem to get a break, because he's had a live action movie. They were trying to run a cartoon on him a while back. They were trying to resurrect certain, storylines within the comic book sensibility, and it's just like, he didn't seem to break out.
Well, he's a big part of Justice League, and not just the early ones, but I mean, like the Just Super Friends. But he was there. But he was also with the Tim Lee Justice League, the Warner Brothers animated.
So see,
John Stewart.
But he's still.
And HBO Max is in the process of developing a Green Lantern show.
Well, there you go. Okay, and I'm hoping that this will be the thing to kind of break him out from him being in the background or in the middle of the pack somewhere.
That's. But I mean, to be honest, that's part of it. Part of it becomes if you're not doing things, if things don't go well, then things get set back.
Obviously.
Right. So, I mean, that's part of the problem. I mean, yes, for the most part, I mean, if you look at a lot of the CW shows with the superhero stuff, a lot of them aren't the big time guys. And in fairness, one of the reasons why this Superman project is happening is because at the time it looked like there wasn't going to be any more Superman movies. And I think that's the reason why this Superman project is going to happen, is because at the time, Henry Cavill was out and they weren't talking about any more Superman movies. And you know what? They were getting good buzz on the guy who was playing Superman on the CW, and they felt like they could get a new CW show. And you know what? They should go for it. I mean, if they can get another...
And I'm not taking away from that at all. I'm not saying not to continue the line of production. I'm just saying that certain other characters, I feel, should also get...
But Ivan, like, for example, like we just talked about, Titans has a live action show that's on DC Universe that's going to be on HBO Max. Okay. We've talked about the fact that the Doom Patrol is that the Doom Patrol, I think, is getting a season 3, and season 2 just happened on HBO Max. Okay. Swamp Thing was canceled, but now it's going to be on CW because they're going to air the first season on CW because, with COVID, there's been a problem with getting content.
It's funny how, like right when that first season of Swamp Thing dropped, they already announced it was canned.
Right, and the interesting part is... Right, and the interesting part is, like...
before it started.
Well, but here's the thing. Just because it's over now, it may have a new life if it does well on CW.
Right.
If it does well on CW and it gets ratings, guess what? It's not dead anymore.
Well, that's because it gets resurrected. That happens all the time.
Right, but that's my point.
It needed to find new life somewhere else.
Right, and the other thing is, Ivan, I hate to say it, is you're talking about certain other characters not getting time. Really, in reality, if you look past the Flash, Green Lantern wasn't getting a lot of opportunities, and not Green Lantern, Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Green Arrow wasn't getting opportunities.
Well, he started to get legs on Smallville, right?
Right, a little bit, yeah. But and then you look at a show like Legends of Tomorrow. That's all. That's all characters that aren't major name characters. So to the point of now where they're like, some of them, they're making up their own characters at this point. Black Lightning isn't exactly, a top line character.
Yeah, I just knew him from the Challenge of the Super Friends. Yeah.
Then, of course,
no, that's Black Vulcan, and that's
Black
entirely
Vulcan.
different.
Okay.
That's bullshit too. In the fact that they didn't want to pay what's his name, the guy who created Black Lightning, so they created Black Vulcan, so they didn't have to pay that guy.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
They didn't want to pay. I can't remember his name. What the creator's name is, but they didn't want to pay that guy, so they They created Black Vulcan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, no.
That's a bum deal. That goes back to what Ivan's talking about.
Right. Well, and in fairness, they got into a big huff around sometime in the 70s or 80s. Those two, and they've had kind of a reconciliation. Somewhat of a reconciliation in the 2000s, but that's been a Cold War thing for a little while with them and Black Lightning. But yeah, but the point being is, Batwoman isn't exactly a top line character at DC either. No, honestly, these shows that they're gonna have Superman and Lois and the Flash. Those are top line characters.
Yeah, and even with the old, what's his name, Dean Cain series with Terry Hatchett. I'm sorry, what was the last name?
Hatcher.
Terry Hatcher. Yeah, I want to say Hatchet. Barry the Hatcher.
She's gorgeous. She's still gorgeous.
Yeah, she still looks good.
Still looks great.
But that show had a bunch of lesser known villains and other cameos back in the day too, from Superman and Lois.
Yeah, but for example, the fact that some of the other characters that they've been able to spin off in the CW verse, the Atom. We never had the Atom before, and we had the Atom. We had, we ended up having, Firestorm. We ended up having at one point Hawkwoman and Hawkgirl. Hawkman.
Yeah, but Ivan sees the headline that we're getting another Superman movie.
Right.
But if you look close enough, there's a lot of third, fourth, fifth tier characters that are getting spotlights. You just got to look a little harder still yet.
Right. Well, the other thing is too, when you're doing a Superman show like this, it doesn't necessarily mean that they might not sneak in another couple of superhero characters to be able to then spin it off, because they like to do that.
Yeah.
So it's always possible that they might use this to do something else with it. So But yeah, I'm a little disappointed about the fact that Supergirl's going to be gone. And I got to be honest with you, if they're smart, there's been rumors for a while about a Supergirl movie, and I would sign Melissa Benoist right now to do the Supergirl movie, even if it's not based on this continuity. Just in general, I would sign her because she's great. And I'm curious what she'll do after this, because she's got enough cachet that, she can pretty much do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
As an actress, because, between this and Glee, she's got quite a bit of,
Yeah, she's been out there, so she's got range too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. She's got a lot of range. I mean, could be Broadway, could be movies, could be TV, could be anything.
So let's see, what else do we have?
Did you see this commercial with Jon Stewart and Mark Hamill?
Oh, Patrick Stewart, yeah, just for Uber Eats, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, at Uber Eats, was it Uber Eats or DoorDash? One of the two.
It's Uber Eats. It's Uber Eats.
Yeah, okay.
And it's weird because Mark Hamill released an outtake where the two of them are going, tomatoes, which I put on the Squares page. So, but I think the only other thing is seems to really be. Go ahead.
Oh, just a quick note. I guess next week South Park is doing a 1-hour pandemic special.
Okay.
Just to talk of the Rona, I guess Kyle is super paranoid of germs, and Cartman doesn't want to go back to school. And I think Randy Marsh is using the pandemic to help promote his weed farm, to sell his weed. So, the last 2 seasons, Randy Marsh moved Stan's father. They moved out to the country, and they're growing weed out in Colorado, like a weed farm. So that's like the last couple seasons of South Park. They've had like one season as an overarching story, and but anyway, so yeah, this next, I guess that's the 30th of September is the South Park. It's on Comedy Central, so I'll be watching it. See what their take is on how we've been behaving the last 6 months.
I guess. I don't know. I just don't. I gotta be honest. Ever since the movie, I haven't watched. I don't know.
I've been there. I'm here and there, not much. I've been in and out. I've missed a lot of episodes the last few seasons.
I was always just picking this and that. I was never really one for consistency.
I catch it when I can. I don't go out of my way, but this one I will go out of my way to record it at least. So I'll watch it eventually. So you said you had one more, Jeff?
The only other thing has been there's like this trend now in the last couple of weeks of, like these special charity table readings. Like, it's funny. My buddy John was doing a panel where they brought back like the entire cast of the Justice League to do a table read. And it's out there, by the way, to go listen to. But, I think we talked about it about where, there was the Princess Bride table read.
Yeah, they did one for that, yeah.
And now, I don't understand why, but they did a table read for Fast Times at Ridgemont High. But not with the normal actors, with like just whoever they could grab. I don't know.
Celebrities?
Like celebrities. So there's one scene that I caught where there's the scene where the 2 girls talk about blowjobs, except now it's Jennifer Aniston and Julia Roberts basically talking about blowjobs, which is hysterical. And the best part about the whole thing is, they got Morgan Freeman to narrate it.
Did Fast Times at Ridgemont High have a narrator?
No, but he's reading all the narration in the scripts.
Oh, just kind of to set the scene for the actors?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And there's certain things where he's reading it, and you can almost hear it in his voice like, I can't believe I'm stuck reading this shit like this. I'm Morgan Freeman. Don't you understand who I am? It's like Morgan Freeman voice. It's Morgan Freeman, voice of God, and reading something like, and they talked about the blowjob. That kind of thing where you're like, this is not something I should be hearing from Morgan Freeman, but it was hysterical because it's like, everybody's laughing because even Morgan Freeman's like, really? I can't believe I'm saying these things out loud. You know,
like you're in Mr. Hand's classroom and
yeah.
pizza delivery guy walks into the classroom.
Yeah. Well, no, and there were some things about like the one scene where she catches him masturbating, and
yeah, Phoebe Cates. Oh yeah, Judge Reinhold,
right.
that famous scene with the red bikini.
And like, right, and so
why do I know this scene so well? I'm not going to answer that.
Yeah, and so all of the parts that have to be narrated are being narrated by Morgan Freeman. So it's like,
that's funny.
Yeah, if you can find it, it's out there on YouTube. It can be seen for free. And then I guess they're going to read. They got a bunch of people who are black that are going to do an episode of Friends.
Okay.
It's going to be like Gabrielle Union and what's his name, the guy from This Is Us, and a few other people.
Okay.
I don't know what the charity is, but this seems to be the new in thing. Is everybody's doing
because everyone's on a Zoom call. So
yeah, well, everybody's doing these virtual charity reads
right.
with okay, here, let's put this together and do something like this for charity. I mean, some of them are fun. So, I mean, it almost reminds me, and Ivan will get a kick out of this, it reminds me of, the old radio plays where they used to get together or, like they would do the radio play, like, I can't remember who does it locally in the area where they get together and they read,
oh, that'd be dope.
Where they get together locally and they read like, It's a Wonderful Life or something like that as a radio play.
Oh, man. I love that.
Yeah.
There's somebody who does it locally, and then I remember watching the radio read of like the Bleacher Bums play, and I think they had like George Wendt and a couple people like that, and they did it in Skokie. But the point being is, it seems like this kind of thing is gaining some popularity, and it makes me wonder, could this become a new thing?
Well, we had like voice actors doing this at conventions where they'd like you'd have the voice of Winnie the Pooh as Darth Vader. He'd read the line from A New Hope where like, you are part of the rebel alliance and a traitor. Take her away and more honey. But something like that, It's not, it's cool that they got celebrities doing it.
No, like I said, it's just a matter. I mean, to me, I just think it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Now this seems to be a thing, and to me, it's kind of like back in the day, kind of almost like radio, like a radio play, and it's like, well, maybe that kind of stuff will come back if this is going to be, especially with people searching right now for content. Who knows?
Yeah. Everyone's stuck at home, so. Well, they're starting to work their way out.
I'm trying to find out who was in the Fast Time at Ridgemont High table read. Because I think one of them is it's funny because I think the masturbation scene is Brad Pitt with Jennifer Aniston walking in on it.
Shia LaBeouf was Spicoli.
Was he? Okay. Did you find the list?
I don't know. Sean Penn just did such a great Spicoli. I don't know. It's kind of hard to see anybody else doing it.
Yeah. So,
Dane
but
Cook.
like I said, let's see. They had Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt, Julia Roberts, Shia LaBeouf, Henry Golding. I don't know who that is. Jimmy Kimmel, John Legend. Oh, I guess Sean Penn was involved, and then it was narrated by Morgan Freeman. So there you go.
Neat.
It would be funny if Sean Penn was reading Mr. Hand.
Yeah, like he's that age now.
Right. I mean, that'd be kind of amusing.
Who was that actor's
Shia
name
LaBeouf.
who was from My Favorite Martian? Who was that actor's name?
Ray Walton.
Boy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He was Boothby in Star Trek.
Uh-huh.
He was the groundskeeper at Starfleet Academy.
Uh-huh.
But My Favorite Martian as Mr.
They have grounds?
Yeah, they have grounds at the Starfleet Academy.
Well, you mean you mean like all the landscaping and shit?
Yeah, right. The groundskeeper. All the
Yeah.
shrubbery and flowers and shit.
Yeah, like the shit I used
Flowers
to.
and shit.
Yeah, flowers and shit. Well, you're
Well,
literally
they have
got
flowers in the
phasers and
24th
boot
century.
drives.
Right. People walking their dogs. Yeah, lots of flowers, lots of shit.
That doesn't happen in the 24th century, does it? Like where they bring their dog around and he poops on it, and
No.
I
I
wouldn't
don't know
think
if pets
that
are
happens
allowed
in
on
like, the
on the
future.
academy grounds. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless your name is like Jean-Luc Picard, then your dog can poop anywhere it wants.
Right.
That was a slut,
Or Kirk. Kirk's dog poops wherever he feels like it,
Kirk made a record recently, too.
Another Shatner made another record.
Yeah, he did. Shatner made another record, so look out there on the internets.
Yeah.
I think a little love in your heart or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it, eh?
Yeah, I think we hit everything that I can think of.
For this week.
Yeah.
So Ivan, are you gonna be spinning it all this weekend?
I'll be, okay, well, considering our recording today, I'll be spinning at, DE051. It's a music group out in Ireland. I'll be doing my first night out there, doing 9 to 10, which is 3 to 4 our time. And, then the Scooter Sounds supporting NHS. I'm doing their last show this Saturday, from 9 to 1, which is, of course, 3 to 7 here. And then, doing the last hours of Spinning Wheels, same time on Sunday. And then I'll be, going back to doing my Twitch shows, for as long as I can do them for, Logan Arcade. I'm going to be doing both the Sundays. The, Wednesday is being augmented. Instead of the 9 to 2, I'm going to be going from 4 to 9 instead. So, because, I'm trying to, pull back on, nighttime activity because I've gotten used to going to bed earlier now and I'm actually kind of liking it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So then
you're still JAVANIVAN on Twitch?
Yeah. Yes, I'm still
right.
JAVANIVAN on Twitch.
Okay.
The dates will be posted on Facebook, Instagram, and of course, the Squares of the Round Table. I finally figured out how to do that. Okay. And let's see what else. And I think that's about it for
this week.
Yeah, for this week. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Jeff, you doing anything with the public speaking and whatnot?
Yeah.
Nothing this coming week that I can think of with the holiday coming up. So.
Happy Rosh Hashanah.
Oh
yeah. Well, right. We got that, and then we got Yom Kippur.
Yom Kippur's coming. Yeah.
Shana Tova.
Yeah. I got you. Don't worry about it.
All right. Sorry.
But yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah. So nothing this week. Coming up. Or at least let me rephrase that. Nothing this weekend coming up, so it'll be a quiet weekend. And then I think the following week I got a contest or two, so I need to start getting ready for that. But that doesn't mean I don't have things coming up. I do have a couple of. I do know I'm doing a 30-minute presentation out for a Toastmaster group out in Singapore. On the 17th, it'll be about 6:30 in the morning Central Time.
Yeesh.
On a Saturday morning.
Ew, gross. Ew.
Yeah, well, it's better than getting up at 3 in the morning to do it. So, that's the only thing about these time zones. It's like, it's cool. I could be out doing something in China. Oh, wait, what time is it there? Oh, jeez.
Not too much.
And in some ways, Europe's even worse because it's like, oh yeah, I get it. Oh,
yeah, because it's a 7-hour time difference from here to France, 6-hour time difference from here to the United Kingdom, it's a 8-hour time difference between here and Germany. And then, of course, I think it's also 7 hours between here and Ireland. So it's kind of
here's the thing. Can I tell you,
What?
GMT is the worst fucking thing you ever have to try to figure out in your life. I swear to God, it
No,
is.
I agree
And
with you.
I'm good with time zones, but this GMT stuff, this Greenwich Mean stuff, and then minus this
Greenwich
and minus
means
that.
time. Yeah, Greenwich means stuff.
Yeah.
I'm about as lost about that with you, Jeff, as you are, because it's like, I remember when I first started doing this thing, overseas, I totally screwed it up the first time. I was an hour short. I was an hour early, which I pissed off the person that had the page over there because she started to complain. Oh my God, you started an hour early. What's the matter with you? Which I've long since disassociated with myself from her, but man, it was an honest mistake because I'd never done it before. But
Right.
But it's still crazy.
No, my favorite is when you're dealing with people from overseas, and they're like, well, what time is that GMT? I don't know. There's this thing called Google. Use it. Because God knows I don't know.
Or just ask your mobile device virtual intelligence saying, what time is it in London?
1 foot equals
there's
5
that
foot.
too. Well, and that, because people want you to, now, it's like more and more, it's like, it's really, I mean, this is like, it's almost like dealing with, like, if you're dealing with the metric system. You're an American, and you're like, no, I'm not dealing with the metric system.
Don't get me started. I got people coming in. I need an M8 bolt. Okay, how long you need it at? Well, about 2 inches. Well, you mean 15 millimeters, because they don't sell metric bolts in standard lengths.
Right.
You got to translate them to millimeters in length.
Right. I remember when they tried to introduce that in the school along with Celsius. Nah. Not so much.
And it's amazing how many people are like, one of these days we're going to get this off. I'm like, yeah.
Well, that's why they were saying that in the 70s. Like, I grew up saying, we're switching to the metric system. No, we're not.
This is like the people who sat there and said, like, soccer is the sport of the future in the United States of America. Here we are, like 40 years later. It's like,
yeah, we still.
I mean, it's no.
We've won one World Cup. I think that's it.
Well, not that, but I'm talking about professional soccer. I mean,
nope.
At least professional soccer now exists in America, but it's not even close to like
baseball or football.
Okay, football is Sunday.
It's not America's favorite pastime. No.
I mean, there's pockets where it's extremely popular, but
Mexico.
It's not gonna. Well, I mean, like Seattle's really got like a real following for soccer, and there are some places where it picks up more. But it's not. You're not getting. America is not a place where you're getting professional teams where you're getting 70,000 people in the seats.
No.
Unless it's like Man U or somebody like that coming in from overseas.
Or when
then you'll get that.
No, but the matter if you have the international, games where you end up.
Right, that's what I mean. Like if Arsenal or Manchester United came over to go play against somebody, then you'd get 80,000 in the stadium.
And they still have that one NFL game in London at Wembley Stadium. Is this still Wembley?
Wembley,
I think they still have it there.
Or I mean, Wembley Stadium, where that don't get filled up because the Brits don't care much about American football that much. They tried to have it catch on, but
they have rugby.
It's caught on, but someone told me a while back, and I don't know if this is still the case or if it's true or not, but because of the fact that they didn't run NFL games live because it wasn't that way, that for a while what they were doing overseas was they were pulling out all of like the penalty stops and all that stuff like that. So like the game got shortened to like a 2-hour game versus like when you're at the game and it's like 3-4 hours. You know, because, okay, we got to stop for TV timeout. We got to stop for, okay, this injury timeout. We have to stop for, this review. We got to stop. We got to stop because we had offsides penalty.
10-yard line, 1-yard line, 2-yard line, okay.
Right,
time.
exactly, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the case or not. I mean, my understanding is there are people who are watching out that way, and I know Mexico they've done a game in too, but like I said, they want to grow the game. I can't blame them for that.
Well, it's because the things that just like soccer, that's which is huge down there, and as well as in the UK and such, and especially in South America, where it's really big.
That's weird. Right. We can start our own Squares Round Table soccer team.
Okay. I don't
soccer
know if I really
of the round table.
I don't know if I want to be on a field. I don't know if I want to be on a field for 3 or 4 hours. That's a hell of a long game.
That's a lot of running.
That's a lot of running.
Then just be the goalie then.
The goalie, you see the goalie on those things, man. It's like 10, 12 feet between posts, man. That's a lot of running back and forth. Not to mention that it's huge.
I don't know. Indoor soccer.
I'd rather do hockey. I'd rather do hockey.
Indoor soccer.
Indoor soccer I liked a lot better than I liked outdoor soccer, because indoor soccer it was okay. You don't have to chase everybody all over the place. Outdoor it's like, okay, fuck, I gotta go run all the way over there.
Dodgeball. Why don't they have dodgeball in the sport?
They do. It's on the Ocho.
No, but I'm saying, like professional dodgeball, like that movie.
A movie called Dodgeball?
No, that movie?
No, but you know the movie I'm talking about. It wasn't called Dodgeball.
Yeah. Yes, Dodgeball.
Yes, it was called Dodgeball.
It was called Dodgeball? Okay, I wasn't sure. I thought it went by another name. Right,
no, you're thinking about Dodgeball.
Yeah, Dodgeball.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, yeah, that other one. Dodgeball.
Guys, give me shit over here. Listen.
The one where they say you can dodge if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. That one.
Yeah, with the little cute guy. What was the little kid? Was that Will? That wasn't Will Ferrell, was it?
It's Ben Stiller.
No, it's Vince Vaughn.
Okay, Vince Vaughn and Ben Stiller.
Vince Vaughn. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. And yeah, Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn. You know what scene's really funny to watch now? Is that scene where that scene in Dodgeball when
is that Vince the movie Vaughn's about Dodgeball?
Leave. Yeah, that one.
Okay, you guys, that's enough.
That scene in Dodgeball where Vince Vaughn is like at the airport, and then like Lance Armstrong shows up to give him the pep talk about doing the right thing.
Yeah.
It's like now it's like you watch that. It's like
that didn't age well.
No, that didn't age well at all.
Well, just like a lot of those types of movies didn't age well.
Well, no, because with Lance Armstrong getting caught for the steroid thing, it's like, it's like, you mean with the steroids, Lance?
The steroid things, man, Lance? Yeah, you did the right thing too, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Our listeners hopefully will do the right thing by going on Instagram and Twitter and following us at SOTRT Podcast. We're on YouTube. Click the bell, subscribe, to get new content. Of course, our other show, News of the Squared, will have all the crazy stories from the Squares Roundtable Facebook page. You can follow us on our usual podcast hosting platforms, such as Google, Spotify, Apple, Anchor, and a few other smaller ones. I don't know if they're the ones like Strapcast or Applecast or something like that. I don't know, whatever. But send us an email for sotrtpodcast@gmail.com.
Well,
by the way, I gotta tell you, I think we've got some real winners this week for News of the Squared.
Oh, it's coming up.
I'm telling you, we got some really. It was funny. Early in the week, I was like, we're not going to have anything worthwhile. And then, late in the week, it really came on. There's, a bunch of stuff where it's, just Yeah, like total winners.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to it. This is gonna be good stuff.
We hope
All
we're
right.
all thanks for listening, and hope you're looking forward to hearing from us again.
Yes, please come on back and listen to more of the Squares of the Round Table. I'm John Ivan. There's Mike. There's Jeff. See ya.